Krishna. Jaya Ram, Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Yamuna Tiram Vanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiram Vanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Gora Premanande Hare Krishna. It's okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from the Transcendental Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are here in the 5th canto, chapter 19, and we have here the last verse, 31. Okay, and there is no purport from Srila Prabhupada, but then we will start slightly the next chapter, chapter 20, and we will read the introduction of the studying the structure of the universe from chapter 20, and then I try to say some few words to it. So let's see if we catch the sound of this verse. Okay, anyway, let's try. Evam tava bharatottama Jambudvipa varasa Jambudvipa varsha vibhago yatha. Okay. Together we will do it. Okay. Vibhago yathopadesham upavarnita iti. Okay, let's do it step by step. It's easier. Step by step, like a small children. Evam tava Bharatottama Jambudvipa Varsha Vibhago Yatha Padesham Upavarnita iti. Okay, I read the whole one and then you can try to also repeat it, okay? Evam tava bharatottama jambudvipa varsha vibhago yat upadesham upavrinita iti. Sounds good. Was way more better than my one. Okay, I think it's enough for today, no? Okay, let's try the word for word, and then let's see. Evam, dus, tava, unto you, Bharata, Uttama, Bharatottama, O best of the descendants of Bharata, Jambudvipa, Varsha, Vibhaga, the divisions of the island of Jambudvip. Yata Upadesham, as much as I am instructed by the authorities. Upavarnita, explained. Iti, thus. Okay, translation and no purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear King Parikshit, O best of the descendants of Bharata Maharaj, I have thus described to you as I myself have been instructed the island of Bharatavarsha and its adjoining islands. These are the islands that constitute Jambudvip. Okay, and thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled A Description of the Island of Jambudvip. So now we finished this chapter, and now we start the next chapter, chapter 20. And this is entitled with Studying the Structure of the Universe. Okay, let's read. I was asked to read it, and then let's see what we can figure out. Now we are more or less without topic. No, not without topic, but it's a little bit like a border topic. And then tomorrow the next speaker will start. Okay, in this chapter there is a description of various islands, beginning with Plakshadvipa and the oceans that surround them. There is also a description of the location and dimensions of the mountain known as Loka Loka. The island of Plakshadvipa is twice as broad as Jambudvipa, which is surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The master of this island is Itmajihva, one of the sons of Maharaj Priyavrata. The island is divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a large river. The second island is called Shalamlidvipa. It is surrounded by an ocean of liquor and is 3,200,000 miles wide, twice as wide as Plakshadvipa. The master of this island is Yajna Bahu, one of the sons of Maharaj Priyavrata. Like Plakshadvipa, this island is also divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a very large river. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Chandra, of Chandratma. The third island, which is surrounded by an ocean of clarified butter. Now we have different oceans. You recognize? Liquor, salt water, clarified butter. And it is also divided into 7 regions, is called Kushadvipa. Its master is Hiranya Reta, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. And its inhabitants worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Agni, the fire god. The width of this island is 6,400,000 miles, or in other words, twice the width of Salamilidvipa, what we had before. The fourth island, Kraunchadvipa, which is surrounded by an ocean of milk, is 12,800,000 miles wide and is also divided, like others, into 7 regions, each with a large mountain and a large river. The master of this island is Kritaprishta, another son of Maharaj Priyavata. We have here some similarities. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of water. The fifth island, Shakadvipa, which is 25,600,000 miles wide, is surrounded. Oops, one moment. I lost the connection. Okay. Where about the fifth one? Yeah, here. The fifth island, Shaktadvipa, which is 25,600,000 miles wide, is surrounded by an ocean of
yogurt.
Oh, he was reading. Of yogurt. Its master is Medhatiti, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. It is also divided into 7, each with a large mountain and a large river. Its inhabitants worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu, air. Yes. The sixth island, Pushkaradvipa, which is twice as wide as the previous island, is surrounded by an ocean of clear water. Its master is Vitihotra, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. The island is divided too by a large mountain named Manasotara. The inhabitants of this island worship Swayambhu, another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Beyond Pushkaradvipa, there are 2 islands, one always lit by the sunshine and the other always dark. Between them is a mountain called Loka, which is situated 1 billion miles for the age of the universe. And Lord Narayan, expanding his opulence, resides upon this mountain. The area beyond Loka mountain is called Aloka Varsha, and beyond Aloka Varsha is the pure destination of persons who desire liberation. Vertically, the sun globe is situated just in the middle of the universe, in Antariksha, the space between Burloka and Bhuvaloka. The distance between the sun and the circumference of Anda Goloka, the globe of the universe, is estimated to be 25 koti yojanas. That means 2 billion miles. Because the sun enters the universe and divides the sky, it is known as Martanda. And because it is performed for Hiranyagarbha, the body of the Mahat Tattva, it is also called Hiranyagarbha. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you for your attendance. It's nice to practice with you together Shravanam and Kirtanam, singing, dancing, hearing about the Lord. It's very ecstatic in the association. I recognized by our small kirtan and also by other activities. It's really nice to be in association. And thank you for all your services, for your enthusiastic, whatever, being. Let's hear together. At first, we hear this description, the studying, the structure of the universe. And actually, Prabhupada is telling us that the explanations of this cosmology or different topics of these cosmologic descriptions are not mythology, but actually like the Vedic model of the universe. And this is actually, it is demonstrating us different kinds of order, intelligence, and the supremacy of Shri Krishna. And we can try to get these topics, or so-called, to try to understand these topics in different ways. But we should not try to understand these topics only like if we would like to study a map. And please don't ask me details. What's about this whole? I'm not so good in geography and in whatever, in all this Vedic scientific whatever, these huge amounts of numbers and whatever. But it is still somehow interesting, but actually Prabhupada is telling the most important thing is for a devotee, we should be, amazed actually how great is Krishna and how great is his universe and everything what he is creating. Because here we hear descriptions, and all these descriptions make there is some plan, there is some thought behind. It is not happened by mistake, or we know by somebody, I don't like to mention the word, maybe that we hear that from some, what is Urknall, something happened, and by nothing or by no plan, by no whatever, anyway, you know what I mean. This is not the case, and we should really understand this universe is not by mistake, it's systematically governed and not accidental. It's actually, there is really plan, thought behind, there is intelligence behind the weird supremacy, order, actually qualities of the Supreme Lord are behind, actually. And we can see it in different details what we hear. Maybe we cannot grab them all, really. We cannot really understand them. We cannot really have a complete understanding and a complete structure. Maybe it's a little bit too much far, too much details, too much. We cannot, how to say, imagine it. I mean, I don't, maybe you, but myself, not really. If I hear such numbers or such descriptions, I'm a little bit like off. But anyway, we heard something here in the introduction about different islands, about dvipas, so-called like islands, and also oceans. And it's actually also interesting. That's why I did it a little bit in a funny way. We read it, but the sides was doubling all the time. You saw it? You recognize? It was doubling. This side, and then the next one was double of the sides, and the next one even the double of it. Actually, this is not a mistake. It cannot. I mean, how it should happen by a mistake, that it's exactly the double of amount, like the oceans, the dvipas, everything. And this should also illustrate for us something, actually the vastness of the material creation, and also the insignificance of the human beings, that we are so small, and somehow everything beyond us is so big and so great, and that we cannot even measure it with modern, instruments. Like in modern science, we try to do it somehow, and we can go somehow far, but actually I don't think that the scientists are finished with their work till now. Maybe some scientists here, maybe somebody knows. But I think they are not really finished with it. And actually, they will never finish. And actually, we should also learn that it is actually everything under control of Sri Vishnu. Actually, we could say it is under control of Krishna, but we should also understand that Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Oh, I know there are also different kinds of Vishnus. Please don't ask me now, it's like that. Then we go into 100 different topics. But Vishnu, let's keep it simple. Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna, and Vishnu is responsible for the material world, for the material creation. More or less, Vishnus have different duties in the material creation. And Krishna, not really. Krishna is enjoying in the Goloka Vrindavan, his pastimes with the gopis. He's like the supreme, and he's not entangled with all this. I mean, in some sense, he's aware, okay, Vishnu is doing this, other Vishnu is doing that, and he gives the order, and they are doing. He's not entangled with it. You can imagine somebody who is a billionaire, and maybe he has, I don't know, many different companies, but he's not really entangling himself with the whole management, with the leading the companies. He has some bosses, or what is that, some who are doing these duties, and he's not with it entangled. He's looking on his bank account and making some nice journeys, and that's it. He's smiling. Maybe sometimes he's visiting a company or something, like Krishna is also doing. He's sometimes also descending to this material world. He's appearing, looking around, doing some leelas, and then he's finished, and it's goodbye. And he says goodbye. Yeah. And actually, another interesting thing is these different dvipas and oceans and islands, what we hear now, actually they are so-called belonging to Maharaj Priyavrata's sons. He actually empowered his sons to take care of these different kinds of islands. And we heard some little differences, also like, for example, in the worship of Krishna, but actually they are not worshipping Krishna in the exactly sense. They are worshipping, it's described, they're worshipping more or less like Vishnu, and also somehow in different kinds of, we heard like form of Agni, form of water, and form of Vayu, this and that. But they are aware that Vishnu is behind. This is important. They are aware of a supreme person, but the symbolic is also given here, or what we heard, and this description from the beginning, that we can get it out, the information. There are different levels of consciousness behind, on these different dvipas, islands and regions. Please don't ask me what is high and low and whatever, but if we would have more time, we could study it, we could go in and figure out. But there are at least different kinds of consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada is often noting that that actually modern science, they are only perceiving only a small fraction of this whole cosmic reality. Also, I mentioned before, they cannot really get the whole thing, it's too much. But actually we have these divine scriptures, and everything is written there. So easy. I mean, there is the question, if we are not God conscious, if we don't believe in God, there the difficulties start. Because then we start to doubt, oh really? Is it so? Is it really happening? Is it really so big? Is it really so small? Is it really existing? Where is existing? How is existing? And so on and so on. If we have no faith in God, in Krishna, or in Vishnu, then it's difficult to believe. If we have, then we can imagine, and then we can accept these holy scriptures and everything what is written in it. And if we have really some kind of faith, then we have the opportunity to practice this path, to walk on this path, like Maharaj Priyavrata. We will come a little bit later to Maharaj Priyavrata, because he is mentioned here, and he is actually an important and interesting character. Actually, he's a pure devotee also, and he had a big job to do, and we hear also a small story connected with him. But if we believe, if we are devotees, then we can make the experience through devotional service to the descriptions in the scriptures. We can experience in ourselves that this process is working. I mean, that is, how to say, that is, there we can make some progress, we can go further, and then our faith becomes bigger, and our love becomes bigger, our purity, and we can recognize by ourselves and also by others, and then we are qualified to go even more deeper into the scriptures and understand them more. But actually the main and the last point is not to understand all these different things. Also Prabhupada told on one point, if we don't understand all these descriptions, then at least we have the Hare Krishna mantra, and we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And with this, actually, everything will be revealed to us in our heart. We don't need to understand all detail. But anyway, we hear also these different forms of worship, about fire, water, moon, air, and this shows us actually also some kind of unity, but also some kind of diversity, some differences, but also some unity. They are all aware of Vishnu. They are all knowing, there is some supreme existing, but still in different kinds of consciousness and different kinds of cultures, different kinds of islands, different kinds of rulers. But still on this time also they understood there is a personal supreme behind everything. We can at least realize this out of it. So let's go further. We have not so much time. We have quite some time. Actually also this Loka mountain was described, and Srila Prabhupada is explaining actually that this mountain is the border between light and darkness, or we could also say between spiritual world and material world in some sense. And it's like also the limit of material perception. And it shows us also that beyond this material world is like a spiritual realm. What is important that we should understand there is more. And and the sun was also described somehow like a cosmic divider. Also that is like some division in the cosmic. And actually the sun is also a person. The sun globe, there is also a personality behind. And Surya Dev, everybody knows. Even the gopis in Vrindavan are worshipping Surya, but also like we know how they worship Surya Dev, like in a sense that they are connected with Krishna and that they got more connection to Krishna, and not in a way, not in a materialistic way, that they like to have something. Actually, there's also a description, I think in the second canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the opportunity also to pray, to worship demigods, and there is the opportunity for sure. And we can also get some boons, some material beneficence from them, but this is not very clever. We should not do it in this way. And this is also described which kind of boons and benedictions, material ones, we can get, like some health, good health, I think, like from the sun. If we pray, then we get like a strong body, health, something like this. To Indra, also there you get some boons, and from Brahma. Anyway, don't ask me, I was not entangled too much with this topic, and we should not actually. But we can be aware there are different things. They are also connected. The demigods are also connected with Krishna. They are representing different parts of Krishna. They are representations of different kinds of power of Krishna. And they are only like in charge of these kinds of power. And they can share also something from this power. And Prabhupada is also stressing that the sun, God is very powerful, but actually also like a living entity, depending also on Krishna, like everybody else. And Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai, Govanitai ki. Prabhupada is mentioning also that this description should not lead us to speculation, actually we have, because we are humans, we have a good tendency to speculate. But actually we have our scriptures where everything is described, and for sure maybe we don't know everything what is inside, but at least we have the opportunity to read the scriptures and study, to read, and or at least to hear if somebody speaks about them, and then we can try to get more and more informations, and this helps us to not speculate, that we don't have to speculate. And Prabhupada is telling we should not go in this speculation, especially if we hear such descriptions, but it should motivate us to the devotional way, that we get more devotion, that we see some different things in it behind, or how to say, like zwischen den Zeilen, that we should see between the words or between the descriptions, different kinds of topics we should realize, like the greatness of the Lord, like a system, like different things, and this should actually inspire us to more devotion, to deeper devotion, the connection to the Lord, to His supremacy. And this is actually the inspiration for us, for devotees. I mean, somebody can also read it in a mindset to study like geography or something like this, to try to get out some information, which kind of different landscapes are there, and mountains and whatever, and which kind of living entities are living there. You can study in this way, but actually it's not made for devotees. This should not be our mentality. And actually also Prabhupada told on one point that at one point also the scientists will be, in the future, they will accept these Vedic descriptions, and because on one point they also cannot go further, and what means at one point, maybe even now, or I don't know, maybe there is also some kind of maybe speculation behind. It's not easy to, you could imagine if you would be a scientist and you have to figure out everything in the universe. Good luck. I mean, this is actually the process what now modern scientists are doing. They try to figure out of nothing everything. It's really difficult. But we have the Supreme Source, we have the scriptures of the Supreme, and everything. I mean, not in all details is described, but we hear I don't know, the demigods have a way more wider description of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know how much more, but I think even many times more than we. This is like way more detailed Srimad Bhagavatam. This would be also nice. But for our Kali Yuga capacities, I think even this Srimad Bhagavatam, what we have here, is even too much, almost, or at least of many of us, because we cannot get it. It's too much information, and to really realize it, it's not easy. But anyway, let's come to the point now. I got the connection point, because I wanted to speak a little bit of Priyavrata, of Maharaj Priyavrata, because he's a big devotee. He was actually a pure devotee of Lord Vishnu. And my connection point now is like a pure devotee and what a pure devotee should do. Actually, I mention it now, but later a little bit more to it. It is this, actually Priyavrata, Maharaj Priyavrata, got instructed by Brahma, somehow by Vishnu, by Brahma, he got inspired, and also he got inspirations by Narada Muni, but somehow he took up the responsibility to rule, that he becomes a ruler. It was actually somehow like a given duty to Maharaj Priyavrata. And because he was a devotee, he took it and thought, okay, it's like I have to rule, I have to manage, I have to whatever protect, whatever a king has to do. But he took it humbly because he was aware that he is a devotee and he should do what actually so-called his spiritual master or his authority is telling to him, and he surrendered and he took up. So he started his career as Maharaj Priyavrata, to rule actually. And humbly he could take up this position, and actually it's described that he was detached. He had a huge kind of opulence, but he was detached of it. He was not attached at all to all these opulences, and it was really a huge opulence what he had. And he was, even afterwards, my point is now that he took up his duty, and afterwards, even if he were on a point that he so-called finished, he was older, he finished his duty, he gave up responsibility to his sons, and then even he became renounced, even more detached. He was before also be detached, but afterwards he showed it really, that he went in renunciation, actually. And actually also Narada Muni instructed Priyavrata Maharaj to don't be attached to material, to all the material opulences. Narada Muni personally told him the instruction: don't entangle yourself with all these material opulences. It was an instruction for him, and he was aware of it. He followed it, and he nicely described, performed his duties. And then he even gave it up. This is also a good way. Even once in my insignificant life, devotional life, it was many years ago, I don't know which year, but I was on traveling Sankirtan, in Buddhist devotion, and my authority told me, so Munindra, now you have to take responsibility about leading Sankirtan. I thought, okay, and he told me, he was actually also Sankirtan leader, and he gave up this responsibility, and he told me that, I don't know, he mentioned this example like, a Yedi Rita, I think it's like from the, anyway, I don't know in English. Like for example, somebody who is ruling or leading, he has to take also this opportunity that he should find somebody who's qualified behind him to take his position, that he can go into the next stage and somebody can take his position. And we should be also aware if we have a nice, responsible job, or we know it sometimes if we like, or we have some service and we are sick or we have to go somewhere, whatever, maybe we have to arrange somebody in case of us. But even if we really give it up, it's a nice, how to say, endeavor, or what is Haltung? A nice posture. Yeah, it's a very moral, it's a very humble gesture to search for somebody who can take up our responsibility. That we are okay, I did it, and now I humbly give it up to somebody, but it is covered. The duty will go on, and it is covered. For example, we are Mahanam Prabhu. If he's nicely on the altar all the time and worshipping, and we could imagine somebody's going, and tomorrow I'm going, and who will worship Jagannath? It's like it would be nice to look around, okay, who can take up this service? Anyway, and Maharaj Priyavrata did it, and not only this, actually, okay, time is short, I try to gather my thoughts. On one point, Prabhupada is telling But one moment, let me search how it. In English is a little bit difficult to get the German would be easier. Anyway, maybe I will get it. Maybe I yours also not so good? Maybe we should change sometimes. You also speak German? You speak? Do you speak Deutsch?
I understand English maybe only 2 words from 10.
Oh, really?
Your English is the best what I
I
listen.
try to speak slow, and I have to speak slow that I can think and speak, that it makes some sense, otherwise it's only some garbage coming out. Whatever. Anyway, together we will manage. Anyway, and Prabhupada is mentioning also, like another point for Maharaj Priyavata, he was all the time deepen, his mind was all the time by Lord Vishnu. He was really deep in meditation, he was aware all the time about his duties also, and he did everything, but he was also Krishna conscious, or Vishnu conscious, Vishnu consciousness. And because he worshipped more or less Vishnu. And again, yes, there is a nice story this I wanted to, in a short term, connected with Priyavrata Maharaj, and then we go back to this other point, what I missed to say. There was actually this actually Priyavrata Maharaj is also described like something like the creator of day and night. That he's the creator of the... Why? Because there was some story in that Priyavrata Maharaj was following with his chariot. He has actually normally every king has a chariot and some horses. Also Priyavrata Maharaj had one, very nice one, very opulent one. And actually on one time Brahma ordered Priyavrata Maharaj actually to accept the rulership that was on that time, and he got it, and he took this responsibility with humility and with devotion, and that time a half of the universe was covered in darkness. And because the sun was somehow on the opposite side, don't ask me the details of the whole story, we can read it in the 5th canto. But then actually, out of Priyavrata Maharaj's devotion and power, but Prabhupada is describing his power was empowerment because he was a great devotee. It was not his power. He was empowered by Vishnu because he was a great devotee. And this is also an important point behind, we come back to this point. And then he followed actually the movement of the sun. He was somehow going by his chariot behind the sun. You can imagine. Really, maybe that was a warm activity. It was warm behind the sun. And don't ask me how he did it, anyway. But all these stories are very nice, but we cannot go in details. Yeah, how it was, why he was not burned, and this and that. We should not ask such questions. It don't make sense. And he was going behind the sun, and actually it is described that his chariot was illuminating the dark side of the universe. And the wheels of his chariot and the tracks of the wheel from his chariot divided somehow the islands and the oceans in 7 parts, and it became somehow after this cosmic description. Anyway, everything is somehow connected with each other. There's also nice stories there, and yeah. Anyway, now we are almost all on time. But what I really wanted to tell you a little bit something It's maybe an interesting thing connected to Priyavrata. I tried to connect it with Bhagavad Gita, that we have also a little bit philosophy in it. And it is described in 269 in Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter. There is the Sthita Prajna is described. Somebody who is like really a liberated person, really like a elevated person. And this I would like to connect with Priyavrata Maharaj. And also this one verse, this 269, it's like the Sanskrit is going on like Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Samyami Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyatu Mune. And this verse is describing what is night for all beings is the time of awakening of the self-controlled, of the Sthita Prajna person. And we can connect it now with Priyavrata Maharaj because it was the play of day and night, and he was a pure devotee. And the time of awakening for all beings is night, for the introspective sage, also for the Sthita Prajna. And actually this I wanted to connect, but we have not so much time. But only this is actually this verse is one of the answers for the question from Arjuna, what he asked from Krishna. He asked actually in Bhagavad Gita 254, he asked Kim Vrajeta in Sanskrit, how does he walk? Can maybe remember? Somebody read? Yeah. How does he walk? How does such a person walk? And actually, but we can understand this, how does he walk? We could also say, how does he respond to sense objects? What is his going on? How he deals with sense objects? This is actually a big question in our life, because we are entangled with attachment with sense objects all the time. We should be detached to them. And this is actually the question of Arjuna in 254. How does he walk? How is he entangled with these sense objects? And this is one of the questions, but actually one of the answers. There are different ones. The answers are described also in the same chapter, from 264 to 271. It's almost the end of the second chapter. There we find the answer to this question, how this Sthita Prajna, this person, this detached person, this elevated person, is dealing with these sense objects. And this is one of the questions that is for an advanced person, is with day and night. Yeah, and okay, I think we came to a natural end. Maybe somebody has some questions or something what's interesting. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much for a very interesting lecture. Can you just explain, like, when Arjuna was like asking this question, like, how is the answer? Because what's the for the was it for the sages? Is like for the material?
Yeah. To explain the verse, or
yeah, like what does it really mean?
okay, yeah, it's a good question. Thank you very much. Again, the verse is, what is night for all beings is the time of awakening of the self-control. Actually, there are two kinds of intelligence, like the Bhagavad Gita is describing. The one kind is of the Sthita Prajna, this self-realized, elevated person, and the other kind is the intelligence of a materialist. The Sthita Prajna is detached to sense objects and attached, so-called, on the supreme or on higher topics, And the materialist is detached from the Supreme. No, thank you very much. And attached on sense objects. And this is actually the symbolic description, like from a holy personality and the materialists. Actually, like a holy personality, in the night he's so-called sleeping a little bit or taking some rest. In the very early morning he's waking up and doing his duty. Actually, a materialist, not all or whatever, but often, okay, they are doing party or are up at night, and then they go to sleep and wake up very, very late. It's like actually everything is like turned around. For a sage is this, for a materialist is like enjoyment, for a sage I don't like it at all. And this is like the difference is actually the opposite. What you like, oh, he likes sense enjoyment. The saint is like detached, oh, I like to avoid it. And then he's loving God, oh, I like to worship God. The materialist is, oh, go away with God. It's like everything, the opposite. Like what is day for the one is the night for another. What is night for the one is the day for. Anyway, we could go further with examples, but this is actually the description. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for a sage. Then he's aware, then he's Brahma-muhurta starts, and then nice, we're chanting our japa, singing for the Lord. And the time of awakening of all beings is night for the introspective sage. The time of awakening of all beings, like a materialist, where is awakening, is the night for the introspective sage. Then he's introspective, he goes into him and is meditating, whatever. This is like more or less, we could speak more about it. It would be nice to give even seminars of different points, we could go so deep. I like to study Bhagavad Gita. I'm now preparing a little bit for Bhakti Shastri teaching, like the Bhagavad Gita. I'm preparing now a little bit. So it's so nice to go into it. And you are intellectual. Nice, thank you for your question. Maybe something else? Yes?
Do you want to ask something? No?
He's Sthita Prajna. He's detached.
Just quick question.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because you also mentioned, for example, that the sight, or no, was it the hearing, that it comes from a person or like a demigod?
The hearing?
Like hearing and the sight as well, like seeing, hearing.
Somehow like they're controlling different.
So there's somebody like controlling these senses.
Yeah, the senses. Yeah.
But what happens? Is it like that the energy comes from them, and then, for example, if we don't hear anymore, is it?
It's a good question. I mean, we have to understand this maybe a broader topic, but somehow it's connected also to our karma, to our activities. What we did, also we have some previous karma. Actually, our body now, what we get, what we have now, it is actually not ours, but we can use it. That's why we should use it in Krishna's service, and we should be thankful. Actually, often I meditate. I mean, we are not body conscious. We should not be body conscious. But in some sense, it's good to be, in some sense, body conscious, in a sense of, wow, I have it. I should really use it for the Lord. It is not mine. In this sense, it's good to be a little bit body conscious and to be aware I should be careful with it and not destroy it and careless. And in this sense, we should be a little bit body conscious, but only connected with Krishna. And should be aware this is Krishna's property. It's actually a temple of Krishna. We should not waste it, we should not enjoy it, we should not, whatever, misuse it. And if we're really aware, then okay, it's not mine, I'm allowed to be here, to use it for Krishna. And actually, we got this body, and if we take birth, the whole program of our body is mentioned. You got these sides, this life span, this kind of energy, this amount of abilities and capability, or what is Fähigkeiten, And this amount of, even all our sicknesses, or if we become some sick, or we get some disease, some problems with whatever I have not so good joints, then you have it from previous karma. You got it is in your structure inside. And the demigods are aware of this, and somehow they have to delegate. Oh, she's now so old, she's this and she's that, that's her karma, and they are somehow, I don't know in detail, but somehow they are delegating, they are aware, and they are controlling them a little bit. Don't ask me how it exactly works, but I mean, actually, we can, if we study the scriptures, almost everything is, I mean, we could say somewhat divided in energies. There is everywhere some kind of energy behind. Even, it's not so long ago, I read by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that this Chit Shakti, like this knowledge Shakti, and we have some kind of knowledge and some kind of belief because of this knowledge what we have. We believe something because we know something. And there are like demigods behind, or maybe even, I think this is even a female demigod. Chit, anyway. And she is aware, or this demigod aware, oh, she is knowing this, I'm allowed to believe him or her something, but not more. This is covered. And she is controlling then this. Okay, you are aware of, let's say, only about Paramatma, you believe this, you go to it. You are not allowed to believe in Krishna, because you don't believe in Krishna. You don't know about Krishna, and they are controlling this. And then, according to this knowledge, what you have, you believe. And you cannot do differently. That's why we should understand people, and this is actually a point where we can, awaken to be compassionate with the different kinds of living entities. That he's not aware, she's not aware. He cannot understand, he's not allowed to understand now. But by the grace of a devotee or somebody who is compassionate and tried to help and to elevate in a nice mood, not you have to, this is so and it's written here, not in this fanatical preaching way, but in somehow like in a humble, that's why a preacher should be realized, humble, should have good qualities, and then this, this captures somebody and say, wow, nice, this is nice, this I can take up, but by force, not, and that's why we have so much troubles in our world. Because the people are not God conscious, they are not humble, they only fight and they try to give their opportunity to the others. They don't, get it up because it's not in a nice mood, and then we have all the time fight and war and whatever. But if somebody who's really realized, who's really devotee, who's really have good qualities, can try to give something in a lovely way, like Prabhupada, he shared with love. He don't pushed us to something, shave up your head and surrender, you pig, otherwise you are pig, and this and that. Sorry my words, but like this kind of preaching is sometimes going on in different religions, even by us sometimes. It's not good. We will not really, this Bekehren, some persons with this kind of, we will not get them, but in a nice way. And again, back to the topic, the demigods are aware and they are allowing to. And if maybe then some devotee comes, inspire this person in a nice way, maybe you start to open up and to get the idea. Then Chit Shakti is coming, now she's opening up, now I am empowering her with this knowledge, This is like everything up to empowerment. This is so interesting because everywhere is, and anyway, it's a little bit different with hearing or not hearing, but this is according to your karma, to your activities. Maybe you are, for example, Bhagavatam, and I don't like this at all. They're speaking some garbage and this and that. Maybe you're doing some offenses and this and that. Maybe after some point you should get karma that you are not allowed to listen anymore, and then maybe your how to say, your ability to listen goes away. And maybe then you get a karma, and then demigods should do something, and maybe you... I once even heard from somebody who got... Somehow, I don't know how it worked out, but something stuck in his ear, like something like a nail, and he get hurt, and whatever, something, it's karma, and then something happens, and they may be arranging this different styles of... I can maybe speak even of one own example. Before I was really young, 20-something, and I had a heavy car accident. I think 5-6 times the car turned by 120 or something like this. I'm happy to be here. I got 2 backbones, they broke, and still now I have difficulties with it. But somehow I can survive, it's okay. And I'm there, I'm living. And I can use my life for Krishna. I'm really thankful for it, because I'm 20-something, I could die. And also 2 other friends of mine were in the car, and they also survived. Actually, anyway, but by this happening, I was aware afterwards that some of the demigods were inside in this play, in this situation. How to say, überholen, I don't know what is in English. I tried to pass by a car, and if I were next to them, actually then one car appeared in front of me. There was a little bit like, it was a long straight way, but I don't recognize that this is actually, it goes a little bit uphill, very slightly. It was a little bit up, and there it went down. And on the point of the hill, there is some car appeared in front of me. I was like, oh my, what's this? I was not aware that it is so. But on the last point, I had to go on the left side out of the road. Otherwise, right side was the car, the front was the other car, left side was free. But there was like the graben. There was like next to the road, and then we hit next to the road, and then the car started to roll. It was really heavy, but I recognize that actually the demigods, somehow higher entities, managed the whole thing. I'm actually normally an almost good driver, but I drove a lot, many hundred kilometers, thousands of kilometers I drove, but at that time I was not allowed to recognize. I had to go in this situation. It had to happen. Anyway, everything should happen somehow. And afterwards, if my hand was pulling the wheel, or lenkrad, that was not myself. I recognized it. That was like this. It was like in 1-2 seconds, not even 1 second. I could not do myself, maybe. And I recognized something was guided by authorities from behind. And sometimes we're recognizing in different situations that it was not up to me, not in my power. It's interesting to realize such things. And it had to happen. And I became a little bit more humble after it, and also thankful that I'm aware, that I'm here. And then I used my life in a different way. And then I started to become Krishna conscious, and whatever. Anyway, but everything has some higher purpose. Anyway, I hope your question, sorry it was a long description, but some other demigods are manipulating, helping, acting, managing, controlling. They are more aware. They're seeing they're way more elevated than we.
We can really understand that nothing comes from us.
Really. Yeah. We should use really only our free will to, I surrender. I'm really nobody. I should surrender to Jagannath or to Gaura-Nitai, to Giriraj, to whatever, to Krishna. And then we are protected. Then we are really like small children. We are happy, and they're helping us, guiding us. It's so nice. I'm every day almost so thankful to be in Krishna consciousness. It's so nice. We should continue. Thank you for your attention. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Gurudev ki jai.
will take yours here. Please, if you want, but okay, no worry. Yes, of course. Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, maybe just chant first, and I can do the prashadam afterwards if I can. Yeah. Mm. Can you click first?